Remember to subscribe and hit the notification button to keep up to date with our latest videos.
Alright, you guys. Okay, so I filmed a Mark 6 Golf R about a year and a half ago, and it was very slick outside. It had winter tires on it. It was a very cold day out in the winter. Basically demonstrating how perfect of a daily this is in pretty much any part of Canada, unless you're way up north and you have some insane like rock crawling stuff to deal with. Anyways, this time it is the summertime up here in Kelowna, British Columbia, and this is a Mark 7 Golf R. It's got an intake, it's got a full 3-inch catless, I believe it's catless. It's got a full 3-inch turbo back exhaust system, sway bar in the rear, and you know, lowering springs. It's been tightened up a little bit from factory. Because of that intake, right off the bat, you get awesome intake noises and turbo noises throughout the rev band. This is the DSG, okay? So, very responsive paddles. Like, if there was ever a car that reminded me of like an S5 or an RS5 with the dual clutch, this is it. And of course, you know, Audi VW, whatever, but this is the top of the bottom of the VW lineup here in North America. So it's got everything. It feels super solid. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break apart in the slightest. And there is no excuse. I mean, older AMGs were like this, but VW Audi, there's no excuse for a lazy transmission. That is awesome. That is so cool. Very fast. We do have it in sport mode, as you can see behind me. Beautiful views. And everybody has tried to get me swinging on this VW chain because of how great they are. Modifications, yes, certainly, absolutely. In the aftermarket, a lot of people have done a lot of things with these cars, which means that parts are very accessible, information and expertise are very accessible for these cars, and you can get into a car like this and get a kind of out-of-the-box piggyback tune like Tim, the owner of this car, has, and get an extra like 80 or 90 horsepower right out of the box, which you don't need. Let's be real here, the Golf R on its own is an insane car. You don't really need that 90 horsepower, but if you do want to go crazy, and if you want to get a wrap like this, a crazy insane livery like Tim's gone and done, you can, and you can really make it your own, which is dope.
Hi, my name is Tim Dushenko. This is my 2017 Golf R. DSG, some bolt-on goodies, and yeah. I've had the car for just over a year. Always been fond of them. I love hot hatches, I love 4 doors, love being practical. The all-wheel drive is great for our winters. So the wrap is for winter protection. Our winters aren't terribly brutal, but they're enough to throw an extra layer of protection on to keep the rock chips away a little bit. So that's why it's screaming loud right now, but yeah, it'll come off soon. It's a handful for me. It's a lot of fun, and I think it'll stay like this for a while, and the handling upgrades just self-explanatory. Twisties are fun. I have had a few all-wheel drive cars in the winter. It is a lot of fun. Being super secure in the winter is amazing. No matter the conditions, I will be on the road and driving. The dual clutch is amazing in these cars. A lot of people on the internet call these cars a mini GTR because there aren't a lot of small dual clutch cars, all-wheel drive, that have launch control right from factory. So I love DSG. I am a manual guy. If this was a weekend warrior, it would be manual, but the fact that it's my daily driver, I hit traffic every single day, and DSG wins races.
Oh yeah. Good little bit of road right here. Very tight road, which is exactly what we want. It is on lowering springs, and we've hit some big bumps on this road. I kind of picked this road for a reason, because in a car like this, there is no excuse for rubbing. There's no excuse for lazy handling characteristics and ride quality, because it's a 5-door, it's a hatchback, okay? You don't buy a hatchback because they look cool. You buy an MR2 because they look cool. You buy a hatchback because they're practical and you can, go fast in them and kind of be stealthy and undercover. You really get some lovely pops and crackles out of the exhaust. They are predictable, like when you on the shift. Every shift, if you are in sport mode and going at a decent clip, you can really get it going. So what's great about this car is you can put the steering wheel, keep it to its comfort setting in steering, so the steering's still light, and then have the suspension and everything in sport, in the exhaust as well. Although that doesn't really matter as much because we do have an aftermarket exhaust. But the way it powers out of a corner is great. Now this is the Haldex all-wheel drive system, so it is initially front-wheel drive bias. So if you're just driving on your normal commute, it is a front-wheel drive car, better for fuel economy. And then when you need to, it can send up to 50%, I believe, to the rear. So one advantage that the Ford Focus RS does have over this car that frankly has to be mentioned is that the Ford Focus can go, I believe, up to 90% torque to the rear, right? So in terms of that, I mean, you only really will notice that or need that if you're on a track. And I feel like a lot of people bought the Ford Focus RS on the hype of the drift mode and everything. Great marketing for it. But I mean, let's be honest here. Unless you're on a racetrack, you're never going to really experience 90% of torque sent to the rear on the street, unless you have a big skid pad or something, right? But this definitely has way more comfort in general, let's be honest. The seats are not as intense in this as they are in the RS. Is that a knock against the car? No, because frankly, if I'm on a long drive and getting in and out of the car, this is much easier to live with. But VWs are not known for their stunning, outstanding reliability. Let's not beat around the bush. Yes, all you VW guys are now downvoting this video. Go right ahead. But from my experience, from everybody else that I've talked to and who's owned VWs and Audis, sure, the engines themselves might be bulletproof, but everything else in the car that's under warranty is going to go wrong as soon as the warranty is up.
I'm a Volkswagen fanboy, you could say. I love what Ford did with the Focus RS. It's a great car. I wish it got the 5-pot turbo like Europe did. STIs kind of fell away from me. I don't feel like they've done a whole lot over the past couple years to be innovative. They've kind of just stuck with the 300 horsepower, nothing changed, and I'm not a fan of the body styles. So I wouldn't say I went out shopping for all the cars and its competitors. This car just fell in my lap and I pulled the trigger.
So this being a all-wheel drive dual clutch German hot hatch, is your dream car an Audi R8 V10 Plus?
It is an amazing car. I would not say that is my dream car. GT2 RS is my dream car. There are not a lot of things that make me emotional about a car, but man, that car just hits me. Shout out to JB4, Berger Motorsports. It's a wicked tuning opportunity to stock cars to get some more power out of, and super adjustable, boost by gear. It's a meth controller when you get to meth, which everyone should get to meth for their cars. Yeah, I think that is something that everybody should dabble with for sure. Otherwise, rear sway bar on these cars makes them unreal. Good set of tires for sure. I've been rocking the Firestone Indy 500s. They've been great. Bang for your buck is wicked and sticky, and they last quite a bit. Otherwise, get out and drive. Don't keep that thing in the garage. Put that sucker to use and rack up those kilometers. Shout out to my other wholesalers, CTS Turbo. You guys are awesome.
So like the power band is pretty much what you'd expect. Hard torque hits just right around 3,000 RPM. And honestly, power does not let up near the top whatsoever. A lot of these hot hatches, and that's honestly one of my biggest gripes with any STI in general, is that stock out of the box, they don't feel like they pull all the way to right line. It's a big intense torque hit, and then they drop off for the last, like, even if it's 700 RPM at the end, if you want to really, you know, hit the red line hard, you don't want to feel it kind of losing any power near the top end. This Golf R does not have that. No, there's no way. It spools up hard and fast, and a lot of that's probably thanks to the tune, at least that would definitely help. And with lowering springs, lower center of gravity, that sway bar in the back really trails around, and it just gets it that much closer to giving it that rear-wheel drive bias-like feel. And it just dives in and powers out. So much more confidence than my MR2 on this road, to be completely honest with you. This would wreck my MR2, even though this weighs quite a bit more. And I like it. I think they look awesome, especially with the wrap. Like, this is hilarious. Yeah, it's a fun car. You're not really gonna have much more fun for the money on top of your car purchase. In terms of tunability, this is pretty much, it's one of the kings in terms of the hot hatch land. There's just so much going for it. And it's honestly kind of makes it better in the tuning sense because it's so throttled and shrunk down for the factory that you can do a lot very cheaply and easily. I love these cars, and this one's no exception. Great job on the livery, great job on the look, the wheels, awesome. Hit us up on Instagram, subscribe definitely, and listen to our podcast every weekend. And we shot some more stuff up at Area 27 this weekend, so check that out as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Golf R versus Focus RS versus STI. I want to know. My vote is still with the RS personally, but this comes in a close second, to be honest, even with the dual clutch. It's awesome. It's really good. See you guys soon.